Ace of Spades. I got to work on this attachment. Can y'all hear me now? So a lot of, I know y'all out there, y'all quiet, and that's okay. I may not be right all the time, but in some aspects, that's what I'm saying. This ain't gonna hit everybody, but it's gonna hit those few people, right? That know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that your parents ain't shit. They're using you to get to where they need to go. You are the sacrifice. When they talk about all the sacrifices I made, bitch, you was one of the sacrifices. They knew you. She was gonna get your back broke. They knew because they've been through it. For some of them, I'll even take it a step further. For some of them, a lot of y'all parents only had y'all just so they could get their finances in order. And what I mean by that, a lot of them kept y'all because they had fucked up credit, so they put bills in your name. A lot of them only kept you because they knew at some point you would have to take care of them. And they show it every time. Oh, you got a job? Oh, okay, I'm so proud of you. Every time you get a come up, where they at? They the first ones with a problem. Thank you so much, Ace of Spades. Thank you. And you can always tell, right? And this is not just with parents, this is with family members too. You can always tell the ones that want to leech off you, that want their hands in your pockets, friends too. Because every fucking time you come up, they got a problem. And it's always some drastic problem. It's attacking your root chakra. And I've said this before. They attack the fuck out your root chakra because that's the chakra of stability. That everything's gonna be okay. If you ever notice, like when somebody really, they don't really want shit, right? They just want of you. Even if they don't want money, they always call you with like either a sad story, they frustrated, something feels like an emergency, or what they do, and this is something else, right? Check it. Hey, Creole Moon. They'll come up to you and say absolutely nothing. They'll sit next to you and you feel the weight of that energy to the point where you like, damn, what's wrong? These are certain ways that people will come to you to take from you. Even if it's not monetarily, it's your energy. People will call you upset about shit that ain't got nothing to do with you. Hey, sweetness, thank you for the follow. And you can feel it and you uncomfortable and you like, okay, I really want to go. Like, this has nothing to do with me, but they make it your problem. This is what, and parents are known for that shit. Parents will do, and I don't mean this, again, this is not every parent, but parents will do that shit because they expect you to, right? They'll give you a grandiose speech. Well, I just don't think it's appropriate. You think I don't feel bad about da 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 da? I feel really bad. Well, good. Stay feeling bad because I can't help you. It's a trauma dump, and notice when they're around, they continue to dump and dump and dump. It's always problem after problem after problem. I'm like, well, you should have told me this shit 3-4 days ago. Let me or you ask them, when you hold their feet to the fire, they become real analytical in their answers. Like, hey, well, you said you needed money like 3-4 days ago. What is that for? See, let me tell y'all something. Folks, when people start coming to you about money, real talk, especially when it's your parents, start asking them what the fuck it's for. This is Ace of Spades say, yes. Start asking them, what is it for? Don't get caught up in, no, that's my parent, I'm not supposed to question them. They bank on that. They bank on you not questioning them because you are their parents, right? But start telling them, hey, okay, you said you need money. What is it for? Okay, if it's for your nails or your hair, whatever, fine. Whatever. If that's the energy that you're in, right? Or if you need a couple $100 to help pay the rent, okay, every now and then, but that should not be a routine thing. Because just like I'm an adult, you're an adult too. So if I'm working, and I'm working my ass off to make sure that my own I'm telling y'all right now, y'all, whether y'all know it or not, they don't give a fuck that you were struggling to pay your own rent and bills. The average person does not give a fuck. They want what they want out of you. And however they can get it, They will try to get it from you. And your parents are not excluded from that. Regardless if you want to believe it or not, sometimes it be your close friends, your best friends, or however you want to put that. They do not give a fuck if you are breaking your back, if you're trying to stay afloat, if you're trying to maintain. That's why you got to be very careful about giving and asking people, what is it for? When she said right in that order, just like the exactly. And don't let them for select few of you out there. Oh, but you'll give it to so and so and such and such. That's my fucking priority. But you know what I'm saying? Like, don't let your parents for select few of you out there guilt trip you into what you're doing with your money. Oh, but you'll spend it on so and so and such and such. Yeah, because that's my prerogative. Just like, and for some of y'all out there, obviously you can't say it within, too much, because you can't be disrespectful. But just like you were spending money on XYZ when you were my age, when you were spending money, when you were using my credit to spend money on bullshit that I didn't know nothing about, some of it was not. Some of it was true things that we needed. That just like that was your prerogative, that's my prerogative. Just like I'm gonna give you another example. When what was her name? Real Housewives. Candy's mama. When Candy busted her mama out, was like, well, you were spending my money on, like, you had a credit card in my name and then you were spending it on gambling and home shopping. What made you feel like you were entitled to do that? And so I think a lot of us as children, we get swept up in that we have to provide for our parents. We have to provide for our family. You got your own family, right, that you're trying to construct and prepare for and all this other good stuff. And then you'll have one of your parents or both of them sometimes keeping their hands in your pocket because it's easy. I'm not saying you shouldn't, provide for your elders or take care of them or any of that. I'm not saying that. Right? But for those of you that don't want to, if there's no energy exchange, right? If there was no true exchange of energy every time your parents call, fuck them. Because they're not really here for you. Some of y'all, the one thing you have to free yourself and recognize is some of y'all parents ain't shit. And I said it. And that goes with some of your brothers and sisters. That goes for your aunties and uncles, your grandma and grandpa. Just because they helped you gain this success doesn't mean that was for you. That's why when things ain't going right, they ain't really around. When you need money, they ain't got none. Yeah, it don't matter. Siblings, aunties, because trust me when I say I caught it from multiple ways. Yeah, this is real shit, Ace of Spades. Some of y'all need to recognize that the only reason why you're kind of sitting at the level that you're sitting in is because you have that anchor in your back. And that anchor in your back says, I have to take care of these people. I have to be present for this person or these people. And some of them, all they doing is again, this ain't for everybody. But this is why learning the art of no will show you exactly who you fucking with. Asking questions, what do you need this for? They'll start showing their ugly head. If you can't get a straight answer, what the hell you need this money for? And if for some of y'all, they'll lie. Oh, I need to pay a bill. I need to pay okay, well then give me the name of the so-and-so. Give me the name of the people that you owe. And I'll take care of it this month. Next month, prepare better. Oh, no, that's okay. I didn't. Okay. Yeah, because it wasn't a real problem for a select few of you out there. For others of you out there, they just want access to your energy. They don't give a shit about you. They want to sit up there and let shit drip on you like molasses. Have you ever been around somebody, whether it was your parent or your friend or a cousin or whatever, they in your shit and you work so hard to keep your house in a certain zen, right? You be sitting there chilling, you got the vibe. Your place is the place because, right, the energy is always right. You set it up the right way, and you'll have a motherfucker come sit in your house, and all of a sudden you feel the energy do a complete 180. Like, why is it so heavy in here? Why? It's because the person that's sitting on your couch, for two reasons. One, they envy you to a certain degree, and that's why they letting that shit seep on them like molasses. Two, their problems, right? Some of them that they created themselves. See, Ace of Spades say yes. It's sometimes the problems that they create themselves, right? It's not that they don't know how to get out of them. They don't want to do the work to get out of it. So they come over here with your energy where you got motion and they swap that shit with you. Creole Shine, yeah. They will swap with you for all of that bullshit. They come in with their inadequacies, their jealousies. Your parents will do it too. They sit up in your house. They go through your refrigerator. Think about it. When your parents come to see your house, why the fuck they going in your refrigerator? Why they going up and down your towel rooms? Why are they going in your master bedroom like that? Why are they going through your things? It's not all the time because they raise you to be clean or something like that. Sometimes it is their envy, right? They're leaving their trail of envy around your house and you don't even know it. All in your bedroom, touching stuff. Exactly. Want to take stuff, right? How many times has your mama been in your closet like, "Ooh, I need this. Ooh, let me take them shoes. Ooh, let me," because it's not about you. For some of them, they knew you could always get there, so they used you to get it. And so now they're slowly but surely taking you. Now they're trying to pick and choose and see what parts, right, of you that they want to continue to. Oh, I need that. Oh, I need that. Look, that's envy. And for some of them, and again, that's why I say for some of them, right, these things were supposed to happen. That was the agreement, that was the contract signed when you came into the world. For a large portion of your parents, though, especially these Gen Xers, I'm gonna tell the truth. For a large portion of Gen Xers, that was not the case. For some of them, your Gen X parents was lazy as fuck. They are people, and I'm being honest because I can't be any other way. For a large portion of them, your parents were products of the crack epidemic, the crack era. They fucked themselves up, and now they're fucking you up because the life that they should have been living or they wanted to live, right, when they were 20 and 25 was either because they don't remember most of it because they were out of it, or they were the wild child, right? Had a bunch of kids, couldn't raise them. And this ain't everybody, but this is the large majority of the ones just like swapping destinies with you. Had a bunch of kids, couldn't raise them, or didn't want to raise them, so they resent you for that. And that's another reason why they sit up there pushing you to provide for them. Some of them parents, let's keep it real, did not want children, but they saw the benefit of having you around later on, and they will use that shit against you every chance they get. For some of you, you probably heard your parents say, well, after I went through all this labor and da-da-da-da, and I went through all this, and I was supposed to, I didn't really want kids. And those are the sick ones. I'm going to tell you right now, if a parent has ever said that shit to you, they are fucking sick. That is a real narc parent. I didn't really want no kids, but, after I did all this that I was supposed to do, I just went ahead and had you because blah, 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 blah. Bitch, if you ever say some shit like that to me, notice when you're not biting, they always drop something nuclear on you. It's always some tragic life story, some nuclear bomb they drop on you when you're not taking it. It's all a mode of manipulation. This is not for everybody. But for select few of you out there that y'all feel that shit is touching and agreeing with your spirit, you know what I'm saying is right. A lot of the reason why your finances are still fucked up, or you fear success, for a lot of y'all out there, and I'm saying this because I've gone through it myself. You have a certain fear of success because you already know the minute you start coming up, the motherfucker's coming right back for your pockets. You already know. But this is where you have to free yourself. And that's sad because as a parent, we should always want kids to be better. Exactly. And I don't even have any kids yet. But like, to me, the concept of raising my child just so they could take care of me later is extremely fucked up. I didn't have a child just so I can live off them later, or they can retire. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people out here, they keep their parents with them because there's a certain level of wisdom, right, that came with that parent. That parent did help them all the way through, right? When they were struggling, that parent provided for them. There's a reason why you still maintain that level of wisdom, but a large portion, especially in the Black community, I'm gonna say it, our parents were not that, and they do not deserve the pedestal that we're putting on them. We will wear ourselves out. Oh, I got to get so-and-so up out of here. I got to get my mama up out of here. I got to get my daddy up out of here. Them niggas could have got themselves up out of there anytime they wanted to. I'm fine, Reginald. How are you? Let's keep that all the way real. When you really sit with this, it don't matter how trying the time is. Bitch, you got yourself out, right, of a state, out of a city, out of a town, out of a country, right, in the midst of a pandemic. We talk about how some of the parents will use you to come up. The topic is some of y'all parents ain't shit and you need to free yourself, right? That will put so much relief in your root chakra. A lot of y'all have like these. Well, first of all, this came from the boomer generation. This catastrophizing, right? That if something don't go right, all the blocks are gonna fall. Well, the truth is, your parents have contributed to that catastrophizing. Exactly. Your parents have also put you in that state of catastrophizing everything, right? Because they're making you feel that if you don't show up for them in the way that they need you to show up for them, everything's gonna go to hell. That is programming. And that's why I'm saying, like, the fact that Keke Palmer was 18 and was in financial ruin at 18, and she had a financial advisor at 12, said everything I needed to know. And your parents both quit their jobs to support you. That wasn't to support you, Keke. That was to support them. And I think deep down, Keke knows that. And the funny part is, for some of us, when we realize that, it will push us to not necessarily rebel, but it pushes us into other relationships that we don't need to be in. The first bloodline are the ones whose problems have messed up this world, stealing inheritance. Exactly. Swapping destiny, stealing inheritance. Putting bills in your kids' name. We was talking about that. But then putting the pressure on you. When you start coming up, what happens? When you start getting good grades in school, they start programming you at a very young age. You get good grades at school, you get up and go to college. Ooh, okay, I'm so proud of you. I can't wait. Keep it up. So you can become a doctor or a lawyer. Things that benefit them. I want you to become a doctor or a lawyer so you could, so mama can retire. And this is about them. This is about you right now. You're not even asking me what I want to do. Of course they'll support that. And I'm talking about the parents that ain't shit. Okay? Of course you will support what I want to do. Because it's bearing fruit. What I do bears fruit. So you could turn around and be. If for some of these parents, and I'm let me go ahead and say it. So I have waist beads, right? I have these beautiful waist beads from Ghana. I had asked my mom's husband, right, if he could hook me up with some. I was like, just tell me how much they are, whatever. I got you. Now, I told him, he told my mama. It has the short hairs. Ain't got no idea. He told my mama. Well, my mama was already in Ghana. There was a reason specifically why I asked him. So I said, and I'm going to show y'all, and I'm going to show y'all because these things is cute now. Okay. So these are some of my waist beads. Aren't they beautiful? Look at these waist beads. Fresh from Ghana. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful waist beads from Ghana. All right. And I said, oh, okay, these are so pretty. I had already figured out, right? My stepfather sent me a picture of them, right? But he had told my mama. Right, and I'm still selling them, y'all. So these are on sale for $15. Okay. Fresh from Ghana. I pray over them. I wash. Listen, I do my damn thing with my waist beads. Okay, I don't play by my waist beads. All right. But that initial part. So if y'all want some of these, just DM me. Okay. Cause I do ship them off, and God, I'm trying to get rid of these. Cause I have so many. Okay. So if y'all want some of these waist beads, hook me up. I sell them for $15. Okay, and they all have strands. So these are multiple strand ones, and I do sell them for the big girls. So anyway, he told my mom. He bought them all for me, and he told her to drop them off for me, right? When she came back home. The first thing she said, and this is why you have to be careful of letting people know when you got motion, right? Or when you in motion. Because I asked my stepfather, him not really knowing what the tea was, told my mom. And the first thing she said when she dropped them off to me was, oh, I need to keep that connection in Ghana. And I listened to her. I was like, connection? I already know where you bought them from. I know where they came from. Because once more, you told me where they came from. Like, that's the thing. You got to watch people. Because in one moment, she was at the market and bought them. Then the next, now you got to keep a line of connection. Baby, I had already started the connection. But the first thing she asked for was 10%. Like, give me a percentage so I can keep the connection going. That wasn't for me. That wasn't for no connection. I got the plug. I had already talked to the plug. She wanted a piece of the money. And y'all know what happened? The minute I gave her that percentage, I'm thinking, okay, well, that makes sense. Because I'm not thinking. The minute I started selling them beads, there was a halt. I was like, what? I didn't understand. I couldn't get rid of these things for a while. I couldn't. I had a box of them. I couldn't get rid of them for a while. And why? Because Spirit was telling me, you're not paying attention. Spirit said the reason why we stopped the flow on this is because you were already doing this. You had already had a hole in your back before you got started real good. Because you already knew when she asked you for that connection, she said that shit with a straight fucking face, but you already knew she was lying. That was a way for you to stay, for her to stay in your pocket while you're on the come up. That's a prime example. Oh, well, she delivered them to you. Yeah, because she didn't have a choice. Yeah, she helped you, but it was to her benefit. Because I could have just as easily sent my plug whatever amount of money plus the shipping. You see what I'm saying? That wasn't no fucking favor. Because I already knew how I was willing to do it. And so sometimes people, Kill, will jump in the center of that. So you also have to be very wary about people that say they have your best interest. Because they will jump in the center of what the fuck you got going on, and they will fuck that shit up before you even get started. And because you let them, right? And that's what I'm saying, I'm eating it on that. You begin to suffer. So for a minute, I couldn't get rid of them beads. And why? Because there was that promise, right? Or that contractual agreement that I had made that I would give her a percentage. like it was business. It wasn't business. That was just her. She saw an end and she tried to. That's why I say some of y'all parents really don't be shit. And sometimes you have to learn the art of no. That's what I'm saying. Learn the art of no. Ask your people questions. What do you need this for? Why, like, what? How does this benefit you? If I already have the solution to my problem, why are you involved? It's because they're already telling you without telling you they're about to sabotage you. That's why you have to stop telling people sometimes your plans. Stop telling people what you're thinking about doing, what you want to do. Even when you see the right, when you see the full picture, sometimes you can't tell everybody because they will put themselves right in the middle of it and fuck it up every time. This is why I don't believe in hiring friends and family. I've also done that. When you come up, don't even hire your friends and family as an assistant, because they will destroy the foundation that you are trying to build, because you are including jealous people, right? People with their own envy, people with their own insecurities watching you do something. And it could be not to them, to you, it could be like, this is just a stepping stone. You could be a fucking manager at Wendy's, and that does not matter. Because you're doing something, because you're in motion, a lot of the people around you don't know how to handle that, and so they will fuck that up. So don't hire your friends, don't hire your family. It don't matter if you're a manager at Wendy's or if you're fucking a CEO, right, of a Fortune 500 company. You don't believe me? Look at Toni Braxton. Toni Braxton got gaslit into five, like she had four sisters, right? Toni Braxton got gaslit by her mom to bring her sisters along her ride for fame. They were all singers, correct, but Toni was the unique one. Toni was the one that had the star power. But what did her mama do? You should help your sisters out. What happened? The sister, every time the sisters got a deal, and this is out of Toni's mouth, I helped my sister out of 4 or 5 record deals. They all fell through. That means, right, that Toni had already done more than she should have for the sisters. It meant only to find out for some of them, one of them don't even want to sing. You see what I'm saying? Not really. The other one wanted to sing, but she didn't want to sing R&B. Then the one that actually wanted to sing, they left behind. You see what I'm saying? So it was already on a rocky foundation. And some of them chose to sing because that was the it thing. That was supposed to feed everybody, right? Look at the it's a lot. We see it all the time. Like I was saying earlier, we see it with the child stars. A lot of these child stars go into their 20s, their 30s, and they spiral. They lose it. And why? Because their entire life they have known nothing but exploitation. And a lot of them can't admit that exploitation started with their parents. To my 1 star per family. I hope so. Like, and I want people to understand I'm not coming from a place of bitterness. A lot of it comes from my own personal experience and things that I have actually seen from other people. So I'm not just coming out of my ass with this. This is things that I have observed over the years. But because I also know what that feels like, I'm telling y'all, and it doesn't change. Going in through adulthood, it does not change. I'm in my 30s and I'm still going, you motherfuckers, a lot of y'all are toe up in a way. And y'all are tearing folks up without realizing it. I appreciate it. Because I really hope that it touches and agrees with y'all spirit. That a lot of the people that say that they are there to support you ain't really there to support you. And in that case, like the 1 star per family, You don't have to have one star per family. I mean, look at the Jacksons. They were all stars in their right, right? And even now, in this day and age, they knew their roles. Because even Tito, rest his soul, had children that he pushed into music. They all, so for some, right, there's a reason why you have multiple stars, but they have multiple, right, positions that they play. Just like every star in the constellation has a purpose. Every planet has a purpose, and they all march to the beat of their own drum. You have some that shine brighter, right? That have a major impact, like Venus. Venus shines so bright, right? And that's the planet of love. But then in the background, far off in the distance, you got Pluto. And Pluto is just as strong, if not powerful. Neptune is a what is it? A higher octave of Venus. It doesn't shine as bright, or the moon, one of those. It doesn't shine as bright, but the strength behind it is just as powerful. It just moves a different way, or more powerful. It just moves a different way. Right? Just like with the Jacksons. They all had a specific part to play, but they knew Michael was the one. But look what happened to him. Because he had so many people relying on him at a very young age. Look what happened. And because he couldn't get that out of his body, look what happened. Hi. Tony Braxton, same thing. You really think Tony want to do that damn show? Do you, like, Tony went into reality TV saying this is not something that she wanted to do. She did it for her sisters, for her. That was something her family talked her into. She didn't want to do that shit. Because sometimes that one, they need a springboard off that one, and they still fucked it up. Ah, thank you, Akil. They still fucked it up. She gave them another springboard, and that's what I'm saying, y'all. For some of y'all, detect the patterns. Okay? If people start guilting you into showing up for them, if you don't want to do something, don't do it. Don't do it. Hey, Terrence. How are you today? Happy Tuesday. And the truth is, fuck how they feel about it. If somebody wants you to show up for them, but they're not reciprocating that energy, if they're not showing up for you, and I'm talking about more than just, oh, I'm so sorry, I wish I could do da 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 da, or they not even there to entertain. Like when you're upset, when you need something, right? When you need a how you doing, you don't never see them people when you going through. And sometimes it is your parents or your relatives. They can call you to come do some shit, but do they show up for you? No. Or if they do show up, how long do it take them to get there? 2 hours? 3 hours? 9? They forgot? Pay attention to that. Or when people come just to dump on you, right? You ever been on the phone with somebody? And again, I told you they catastrophize everything. So now you in a state of panic because they're coming to you like everything's a panic. Like, oh, okay, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, I feel better. And hang up. They ain't really asked you what you doing. Or they do that and they go, oh, well, anyway, how you doing? That's exactly what I mean. They're coming to dump on you. They're leaving that there on you, right? Sometimes it be shit that you didn't even ask for. How the fuck did I get involved in this? Exactly, Akil. How the fuck did I get involved in this? I wasn't there when you and that nigga was doing XYZ. I wasn't there when your boss fires you because you wasn't showing up to work on time. What does that have to do with me? Nigga, you lost your job because you weren't going to work on time. Why do I need to feel sorry for you about that? And see, I think a lot of us have been conditioned to be like, oh, well, I'm so sorry that happened. No, where was your personal accountability in all of that? I'm supposed to feel bad for you because you weren't doing what you were supposed to do? And then some of y'all can have, and I've done this too. Bitch, I work hard. I work like 20 trillion motherfucking bitches all day long. And you mean to tell me, and my coin ain't coining, right? But because your energy has been stretched by them people that are still hooking themselves up to your wagon, and you trying to figure out why your coin ain't coining, is because your root chakra has been attacked so bad and it's been so fucking bruised, right? That it's not having time to heal, right? You're not healing your root chakra. Those anxieties, a lot of the things that are like shaking up your root chakra don't even belong to you. All that fear. Hey, G Monk 777. All of those fears, those anxieties about not having enough, not doing it. Sometimes that ain't got nothing to do with you. That poverty mindset is them people that you still let hitch to your wagon. And sometimes they are your parents. That I gotta hurry up and do this. I don't have enough. I don't have, like, it broke my heart the other day. I was watching this lady talk about her face. I think it's called Moonex or something. Like her facial care line. She said that her mama, who she hired, her mama didn't even raise her. She had her mamas, her uncles, everybody on payroll, right? She was paying them to help her when she was 17. Paying them to help her, had a warehouse, had all of that. Had a financial advisor, all of that. She said that her mom wanted this car. I want to say it was definitely a luxury vehicle. I forgot what it was. I want to say it was an Audi or BMW, a Mercedes, something that her mama didn't fucking earn, right? But she saw that her daughter was starting to get motion and begged her daughter to buy her this car. And the girl was like, well, wait a minute, mama, you want me to put a deposit down on a car and my money ain't even came in yet. The money that would have paid the car off ain't even here yet. This shit is in limbo because the bank is trying to make sure that I'm not, you know what I'm saying? The bank is trying to make sure this is legitimate money. So obviously that's going to take a little bit. She said her mama got so upset because she didn't get her that car that day that she called her up and was like, I'll sabotage all your stuff. She called her grandma. The girl's mama never raised her, but her mother's mother did. The girl grandma called. It was like, you need to go check on your warehouse because she said that you didn't do something and like she's going to sabotage you and all this other stuff. And she was like, what? Luckily, she listened to what her grandma said and went and checked on, her warehouse or whatever. And she changed the locks before because her mama was going. She said that she had showed up just before, right? They had put that final lock on. So her mom, you mean to tell me because you were upset because I didn't have the money right then to buy a car for you, which was your dream car, because you were using me. You were so upset that I didn't have that money right then because we had to wait, that you were willing to knock over all my blocks. You were willing to put me in financial ruin because you didn't get your way. That is the definition of envy. Even with a parent, that is sad. So you mean to tell me that you were, but what made it so sad when she was telling that story was that her mom tried to sue her after that. Like for all kind of like, I forgot what it was she was saying. It was like damages or whatever. But what really hurt her most is the same woman that raised her, which was her grandmother. Mind you, this is her mother's mother. Pay attention. She said what made her so toe up about it for real and why she cut everybody off was because her grandmother wrote that letter, right, that was sent to the attorneys and everything else. Her grandmother helped her in that. But she was like, I was shocked because me and my grandma, like, we was like this. That was my ace boon coon. I wouldn't have. That's why you have to be careful, especially when it comes to your parents. Sometimes they will never choose your side. They will always choose the side of their child sometimes. But see, when people are also dealing in dirt, they patch up and they do shit to fuck you, they'll never tell you. So one was just louder than the other. So sometimes you still bigging up people that are there to ruin you just because they don't say nothing. It was a letter about how she was owed for compensatory damages and stuff, trying to sue her. Like, that was a letter that she sent to the lawyer, but her mother drafted the letter. Jealousy. You mean to tell me the what? Because me, you mean to tell me you had me, you raised me, so you took on her responsibility and y'all were both using me? See, that's a sense of entitlement and a sense of ownership that some of y'all parents or friends or whatever feel like they have to you. Just because I know you and because I own GP, right? You supposed to be doing good with me. And that was a lesson that I now understand what a lot of people are saying. Just because you're doing good don't mean everybody around you supposed to be doing good. Learn the art of no. And people in the comments talking about what she was telling everybody what she make, and that was her prerogative to tell people what she was making because she was the one working her ass off to make sure it happened. Everybody that was attached to her wagon, though, her family, they were supposed to be her employees. She paid everybody for helping. That's a quintessential difference. When you're trying to help me, you're supposed to get paid accordingly. So for every hour that you help me fold these bottles and bottle them up and do all this, yeah, you were compensated for that. And you got appreciation. But see, now y'all want to level up on top of the appreciation. You were working for me. Why you couldn't get that car your damn self? Because you know your credit wasn't right. And you knew working for me, it was easier for me to deliver for you than doing it yourself. Entitlement. Same on me. Now you have my attention. So you got to be careful. People that you feel like are close friends to you, if you ever notice when things start shifting, when you start coming into your own, now all of a sudden they got a problem with you. They start getting wishy-washy. And you've been the one, I'm so supportive of you. You the one, you show up for all of their stuff. Right? But when it's your turn, they busy. When it's your turn, they don't show up. When it's your turn, that's because their intention is already spoken. Their true intentions for you. Now, I'm not saying this ain't everybody. Sometimes people are like, I really just can't come, right? Exactly. When you had bariatric surgery, jealous. For what? Because you were trying to maintain your health. Was that a fake laugh? No. I claim it. Thank you, Lord. Hey. But yeah, when you start doing something outside of the norm, that's when people change. I'll do you one better. It could be something as small as your hair. Like me and my family, I have hair. I was growing up with hair. But a scalp disease, alopecia, is present with a lot of women in my family. So wigs were always a thing in my family before they were even fashionable. I started wearing wigs, it was a problem. You got a head full of hair. Why you wearing all them wigs? But then when I started doing my hair, like when I really went natural, putting, doing the egg treatments and all that stuff in with my loose natural hair, and I would walk around with the afro, you play with your hair too much. Why you always doing something to your hair? And with a narc, because I've had that experience too, they'll find something that you know you're not really settled with, and they'll start picking at that. Because the real problem is, I want that because I can't have that, or I'm not looking at another way or seeing another way for it. I'm gonna start fucking with you. Because I had an auntie, anytime my hair was out, my loose natural hair, she would start talking about my weight. Like, oh yeah, your hair is out all the time, but you know what? You should really do something about your weight. I want you to be proud of your body when you grow up. What the fuck? What does that have to do with my hair? But I wasn't piecing these things together at 17 years old. Like, what does that have to do with? That's a real narc. I was a real textbook narcissist. But then sometimes you have people that have underlying jealousies and they don't understand. You're like, you mess with your hair all the time. Why? But 2020, you know, when everything started happening, I had locks then. Nobody paid. They thought locks were so ugly. I did locks. Oh, that's cute. Then when I shaved it off in 2020, 2021, oh, they loved it. You see how people do you? Oh my God, I love your hair like that. It's just so pretty. And when my hair started growing again, they got quiet. Oh, see, when you thought I wasn't, y'all thought it wasn't a choice why I shaved my shit off. It was a choice. And now I got locks. You may have something serious going on. I'll catch you in one of your more joyous moments. I don't have anything going on, same old me, but I don't appreciate the fact that you coming in here like that. That's twice you've given me like this weird behavior, and so like you really don't have to come back. That's totally fine. So peace be unto you. But you have to be careful, right? And sometimes that you think it's acts of love or acts of kindness, it's really tone policing. It's really underlining jealousy. And when you put your boundaries in place, then it's like, whoa. Because they feel like you don't have any boundaries. You shouldn't be entitled to say no. You're not entitled to boundaries. You're not entitled to feel a certain way because for select few of you out there, because these are your parents or these are your family members. And the fact that they run this train, right? Like, because that girl said, if I'm not mistaken, she said that she called her uncle or her uncle called her, right? These are people that are still on her payroll that told her, just pay her the money. Like, I'll just pay her the money and stop. For what? Pay her money that hadn't even hit her bank account yet, right? That doesn't make any sense. Why am I paying you money that hasn't even landed in my bank account as of yet to pay for something, right? As frivolous as a car, something that you are going to mess up. Right, one of the piece. But you acting out over something that could be gone tomorrow, something that you would have still had to maintain the upkeep on, that would have made my responsibility. Oh no, it's because the what you call it. I need to charge up the phone. Here we go. I'm gonna put you on the charger. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1234. But something that you make it my responsibility further on. You know what I'm saying? Because the girl paid off the car, but then you got the insurance. Who was going to pay for the insurance? Were you going to do that? Or was that going to be my job later on? Because she worked for the mama. I mean, not the mama. The mama worked for her. So she was getting a check, but that's never enough to somebody that's trying to use you. That's why that pouring from come on, Scorpion King. That was my movie back in the day. Come on, Scorpion King. You see what I'm saying? Something that would have been a toil later on. That's why you got to be careful and learning the art of no. That's why I tell anybody, like, really think twice when you start making certain moves, when you start doing certain things. Don't tell everybody. Do not tell anybody your plans. That's the way I see it, because you never really know who's actually there for you, or who's, you can tell them you got plans, but you don't never tell them what your goals are, what your dreams are, but because some people, and I said it before, they're not really your friends. They're just trying to see where they can trip you up at. I don't mind doing it, but it's the entitlement for me. Ungrateful, narc behavior. Exactly. And this is what I'm saying. This is nothing for people that actually want to take care of their folks like that within reason, right? There has to be this balance there, right? Because there's a lot of people, like, their intention, with no coercion of their own, want to make sure that their parents are retired, they have a nice place to stay, they have a home. But after that, don't call me for shit else. Like that was my contribution for all the things that you did for me. Okay? You got this house over here. You got but it's gonna be your job after that to maintain it. So don't ask me for nothing that you can't maintain. She said, we have over here. Yes. I love deep conversation. Yeah, this is a conversation that needs to be had. So it's like, at the end of the day, there's positively rewarding people for positive behaviors and things that they've imbued in you. And then there's positively awarding negative behavior. There's positively rewarding deception. And a lot of us do it without even realizing it. That's the message. When you positively reward deception because you don't realize that you're doing it. And a lot of people, and sometimes it be in your own family, be the main ones saying that they support you, but they're tripping you up the entire time. They are tripping you up the entire time. I could go all day with the examples, right? But and me using my personal experience is to catch on, right? Because I didn't know. I didn't catch on to a lot of stuff. But now that I am, right, my goal and my purpose is for those of you, right, that are in these situations. I need you to recognize some things, okay? Learning the art of no will be your, like, I've had people blow up my phone. I'm talking about call me back to back to back to back to back with shit that has nothing to do with me. This is even outside of being a medium. And that's another thing. When you're the healer in your family, that expect that shit to come late. When you are the healer, expect for that shit to come. And learning the art of no will help you. Even the ones that want to get close to you sometimes. You have to question their motives too. Like, what do you really want? And it can make you paranoid. I'm not going to lie. Because you have people that will use you, especially if you're a healer, for the healers out here, that specifically, they want to match up and collaborate with you using your talents and your gifts. And it is not to your benefit. Because the things that you should be learning, the things that you need to learn, they'll never teach that shit to you. So now you have to go off on your own and find it anyway. Yeah, there's paranoia. Because sometimes their intentions, it ain't for you. It's for them. And I'm saying that because I done got caught up so many times, especially in the spiritual space. Not saying, And this is where you can't say like, oh, well, they're giving me this little bit of information, that little bit of information. Yeah, they're giving you that much, right? I'm not talking about the gatekeeping, because I personally believe that some shit should be gate kept. I ain't even gonna fucking lie. Like, this is not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about the people that will use you to your benefit. People that will utilize your gifts and then take the bigger half, right? Let me put it this way. I was apprenticing under someone last year, worked my ass off. I introduced things to that business that they never even thought of or heard about. I was working my ass off. Not to say that I wasn't, and then I went there to learn some things too, right? There was supposed to be exchange, but the exchange wasn't there. And so you got to be careful around people too when they say things like, you ain't going nowhere. You ain't go. Why? Because you know why you ain't going nowhere? Because they done figured out, bitch, you are a battery, you are a plug, and whatever the fuck it is that you're doing is going to work to their benefit. So they are always going to make sure that you go nowhere. But how do they do that? Most people, they take your money. They'll give you a little bit, but they don't ever give you what you're owed. And I don't play like that. For some of y'all, like I told y'all, my with my spirit guides with the beads, they cut that shit off because somebody was already attached to it. And as you go into some of these spiritual spaces and you realize why you're not making no money, it's because one of two things. Either they're stealing from you, or your ancestors are saying, no, it's some shit going on in the background you don't know about, and I'm not letting you stay here. No. Yeah. The big thinker, the empath, psychic, and the creative. Hi, Bear. Some people will take you into these spiritual spaces up under their wing, and they will only let you know what they want you to know. And that ain't and that ain't no particular space. I'm gonna say that for real, because it could be any space. It could be in Christianity, it could be in Islam, it could be in any space. Okay? Because it's happened to me in literally every space. So you have to be careful. To whose benefit? To who? You always have to ask yourself this. If I'm doing this, if I'm collaborating with this person, if I'm working all these hours to go, who really benefits from that shit at the end of the day? If I sign up for this competition, right? Who is going to benefit? Why you actually want me on your team? Is it for us, for real? Like everybody get a piece of this pie? Or is it for you? Because 9 times out of 10, you see it in groups a lot. The one that they engineer to be the breakout sometimes don't be the breakout. We saw that with 3LW. No shade, but shade. No shade, no shade. With 3LW, we saw it. Notori was the one. But the group was centered around Keely. It didn't work. And so now what happens? Now you become the target of jealousy. You become the target of a bunch of bullshit. People will stick knives in your fucking back and you don't even know. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes with your parents, they will do that shit too. Your parents will put a knife in your back so damn deep and you don't even know about it. And meanwhile, they're still telling you to mush. Keep going. Keep striving. Keep climbing. Meanwhile, they're doing like this the whole time. And sometimes it ain't because they know that you're doing better than them. Sometimes that's just who they are. Yeah, do good. So long as I want you to do good. If you start, and that's why I'm very, very particular when people say, oh, you think you better than me? That's a red flag. When somebody, so you think you better than me because you did. No, and you spend your whole day explaining, no, it's not like that. I don't. And what they do, they give you their ass to kiss. Because they're telling you, right, They are already telling you what it is, how they really feel about you. They think that you are better than them. Why? Yeah, I've had a couple of people that say that. It didn't happen often. But and the people that don't say it, sometimes it's in their demeanor. Sometimes you get around somebody and you just start talking, like you want to share stuff with your friends, like, oh man, I had a good day, I did da 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 da, and they be like, okay, or they fuck it up with some weird shit, like, oh, you want some gum? Wait, what? Did my breath sting? Yeah, dog, it's kind of raw. It's kind of raw. Wait, what? They'll have you all fucked up. Now, in some cases, your breath probably did stink, but in a lot of cases, they will say that shit because they want you to shut up. They don't feel good that day. Right? It's something going on with them internally, and listening to you with that light that you carry sometimes, or sometimes because you're excited about something, they want you to shut up. So how do they do it? They attack it by fucking with your self-esteem. They attack it with, something about your appearance. Right? Or they tone police you. Or they police your reactions. Exactly. Yes, because you're a master of your abilities and they know they are not. Yes, girl. Right. They're not a master of your abilities. That's the key word. They can't master your abilities, but these are abilities that are unique to you. They were programmed inside of you so that you can do what it is that you are called to do, your life purpose. So you're being put in divine alignment. That was for you. And a lot of people do not like that. You might not even know what the hell your purpose is. They don't know either, right? They don't know what their purpose is, right? But they have a goal and a mission. For some people, they're not happy with it. And I'm going to tell you, sometimes people just don't understand why you're happy, even though it looks like you have less. The best example of that, I don't know if y'all have ever read ever read the book, but The Count of Monte Cristo is one of my favorite books to read. And why? Because that's a shining example of what happens, right, when you're just doing you. And sometimes it's an example of what happens when you're naive to the fact that some people really ain't there for you like that. And if you never read the book, then go to it, and it's free public domain. But I mean, go into your YouTube or your Netflix or whatever it is that you subscribe to, right? And watch The Count of Monte Cristo. It was one version that came out of 2002. They really really twisted up a lot of the stuff, but the base was the same. Or the 1974 version is much closer to the book. But the main character, right, was this sweet young guy, right? Broke, he was poor, right? But he was a part of a merchant ship, right? So he had goals and aspirations to eventually, right, run his own ship. But what were some of his flaws? He couldn't read. Could not read. But he had the baddest bitch in town that was in love with him. Worked hard. Had great character. Was kind to people. Didn't have shit to his name, right? But he knew if I worked for this company for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, eventually I'll gain some position and I'll captain my own merchant vessel. He had plans. But what happens? Now he got a best friend, got all the money in the world, got a title. He likes the same girl, and that girl was throwing him dust. She was like, no, Edmond, that's my boo thing. I love him. Right? Now Edmond and this girl were both broke. So understand, and this is Paris, in the so-and-so century. So girls really didn't have much education either, right? But there was real love between the two of them. So they go on this whole journey, like this this young man with a person that's supposed to be his friend. They get caught up in a situation. Edmond being naive, he thought he was doing something noble, and he's getting rewarded for his great characteristics, for things that he actually did. So all them plans that he had came to a quick halt, right? When I think it was a decision that he made. It's a historical fiction. The decision that he made actually got the crew in trouble, right? Because they ran up on Napoleon Bonaparte's island, but he did it for the right reason. And because he made a sound choice, they made him the captain of the ship. He went from looking at 6-7 years of hard work to instantly becoming a captain. His friend was pissed off because his friend was the first mate of that ship. Then he had then you had some people that are just haters that didn't like him. And what did they do? They matched up and said that this man had committed a crime that he did not commit when he was on that island, that he participated in the treason, and they had him locked up on an island, right, that nobody went to for over a decade. He didn't even know what the hell he did. And y'all know what happened? That same homeboy, right, the best friend, who was so envious of him because the man had nothing but a bunch of love in his heart and the love of this beautiful ass, broke ass woman that was with him, participated in this man getting locked up, and then went back and told his girl, oh man, yeah, he did that. And you know what? They killed him, girl. Yeah, he got executed for that. Lied to her too. Just so you could take this girl. And then what happened? He didn't treat her right, obviously. The hater that was watching behind the curtain while he came up on that ship, because he had been there for 10, 12, 13 years, however the fuck, took his position as the captain. They took everything that belonged to him. That man spent years, and you can watch the movie too. That man spent years getting his ass whooped for no reason. Every year that he was in that prison, crying, trying to figure out why, what happened. Like, I was a good person. I don't understand why this happened. And then what, you know what? His spirit will always piece the shit together for you. Because the whole time he was there, he ended up, when he stopped panicking and he stopped trying to analyze what was going on and realizing things that were being done to him, right? He ran up on this other man that was in prison, who was a priest. They sent him to the prison for not doing so, for having moral character as well. He was digging a tunnel. So he was like, you know what? You help me dig this tunnel. It's a bag waiting for us as soon as we get up out of here. I know all about it. You know why? Because they told me, right? Like the captain I was working for, the army that I was working for, I know where they buried that shit. And they thought I knew. That's why I'm really in here. Because I ain't told them shit. But when we get up out of here, I'm going to split that shit with you. And what he also did for him, right? Because he was a man of faith. He was like, I'm going to educate you real quick. So he taught that man how to read, how to do mathematics, science. He taught that man everything, taught him how to sword fight, everything he knew how. And that's how he realized, and the character's name is Edmond, that he got screwed over by them people that he loved. So, the Abbey, or whoever his name was, Faria, the man that was teaching him, it ended up dying before, they were able to get to the, but that old man gave him the map. And because he taught him how to be strategic, right? Edmond escaped. He found the treasure. And don't get me wrong, he met some people along the way. Sometimes you need them shady people sometimes, right? You just can't tell them everything. Sometimes you need them shady folks. Because sometimes them shady folks will stick beside you, but you got to be careful. You got to watch them, right? You got to know how to speak to them in their language. He made friends with pirates that helped him. He was like, you know what? I got all this money, but I'm still so good. I'm so mad. He used a lot of that fortune to get back at them people. And he took them niggas down one by one. But that's also a story of when you come into your naivete, how revenge can also like really corrupt you. So even as you're going through this, y'all, recognize that sometimes taking revenge is not the best thing for you to do. You can corrupt yourself in trying to get even. Sometimes saying fuck them and moving on is what's going to help you. Because even after he took them people down one by one, he put them in financial ruin. He taught a woman how to kill her own damn family because she was connected to the homeboy that took his wife, or his girlfriend at the time. Took him down one by one, and he still was not satisfied. But when he was able to let go of some of that anger, another woman was able to come in and quit, and and really guide him right into getting off of this revenge tip that he was on. And so they spent the rest of their life good, living good, popping bottles, all that other stuff. Yeah, he got his revenge, but there was a part of him, right, that was still hurting and aching for it, that he had to heal through that. So for some of y'all, when y'all get exposed to these people's intentions, it's good to heal from it. Yeah, feeling that anger. You want to get even with a motherfucker. They ruin my credit, and you done live good, and you watch me starve, and you watch me do this, that, and the third. You watch me cry, and you motherfucking knew. You said, yeah, that'll make anybody hot. That'll make anybody tell you, man, die slow. I hope you starve. I hope. And then for some people, you want to take it a step further. You want to ride out. You want to. You as a witch, sometimes you want to break the glass. You know what I'm saying? You want to go to that jar. But sometimes there's a deeper lesson in that. Yeah, there's a deep feeling in this story. I've been there. Yeah, like the Count of Monte Cristo is a deep story. Like if you're not a reader, if you don't have to pick because it's long, you can watch the movie. It's deep. Because everybody around him was taken from him out of jealousy. And that's why I tell people, stop saying, I don't understand why people are doing this, that, and the third. Because sometimes the light that you carry, or sometimes the ambition that you have, people cannot stand that shit. And it's not anything that you've done or have yet to do. But they find a way to poke at you about it. Because sometimes there's people, I ain't gonna lie, I mean that like every religious text, every Bible, every Quran, they will say this shit. There are some people out here that are just set to create chaos and dissension, and some of you motherfuckers are descendants of motherfuckers that just created chaos and dissension. But you never know, because sometimes they show up as a friend. Sometimes they show up, you know, that they your bestie. They this, they that, and that third. Sometimes it's just trauma bonding, right? I'll give you another example. And I'm not talking about nobody, but these are just things that I've seen across TV. Like, look at Kenya Moore and Cynthia Bailey. Remember when Phaedra and Cynthia were both getting divorced? Who threw them a party? Kenya. Phaedra said, girl, fuck that, and left. She like, girl, I ain't got, fuck all of that. That was fake shit anyway. And guess what happened? Cynthia sat there and cut that cake. And what happened the next year? Kenya got married. She popped up with a whole husband, and she didn't even invite Cynthia to the wedding. That's exactly what I'm talking about. See, you was all for celebrating when I was single. And I called it. I was like, watch Kenya pop up with a new man. I called that shit then. I said, that ain't no friend. Watch. And sure enough, all of a sudden, she had a husband that she was so in love with. They had a whole established relationship, a whole ceremony, like out of the country. You didn't even invite your friend that you was helping celebrate her divorce. Envy was the main one all up in your friend business. Listen to her, him and her, and cry. Exactly. Always wanted to be married. So when your friends were going through their divorces, you was all for that. Let's celebrate, girl. Let's be the single girls. Only for you to mysteriously pop up married. And you didn't want them to share in any of that. Why? Because you knew your motives were fucked up to begin with. That is not a friend. That's not even an ally. Because she saw you were doing away with something that you wanted, right? She wanted to help you celebrate that shit and stay in it. And that's why I talk about envy. She wanted her to stay in that shit so bad because now I'm the girl that's married. I got the ring. The only person that wasn't buffaloed by none of that shit, Candy. Think about it. When Cynthia got engaged to that last husband that she had, right? What was the first thing Kenya did? Because now she's going through turmoil in her marriage. Oh, I think he's going to propose today. I really think he's going to propose. And Candy said, why would you do her like that? Why would you fuck up her moment? Jealousy. I mean, bringing up some real stuff. You definitely bringing up. Yes. Because sometimes those people aren't your friends and they aren't allies. Because I was with Candy on it. Why would you make that announcement? It's obvious, right? It's obvious the reason why the man asked us not to go anywhere was because he had something planned for his girlfriend. And you blew up the spot on purpose because you wanted to take that moment from her because you were going through something emotionally in your relationship that didn't nobody know about. But because everything wasn't 100% at that time, because everything wasn't copacetic, because he wasn't playing the game that you had set up, you tried to shit on your friend again. That's not a friend. That is not a friend. That is not an ally. We see it all the time. I'm not saying there aren't real friends out there, because there are. But recognizing that those friends also have boundaries. They come with boundaries. They're not going to force their presence in your life. They're not coming just to trauma dump. They're not coming just to spread a bunch of mess about he said, she said. And sometimes it's codependency. Sometimes that person knows that nobody else wants to fuck with them. Like, they know that sometimes, and I'm going to be honest, there are a lot of people out here that don't have friends. And there's two reasons why. One, like myself, are scarred and really paranoid as fuck about having people close to them like that. Doesn't mean I don't have friends, but I keep you in a certain way. And there are boundaries that are in place. It means that when I have a friend, when I coin you as a friend, right? That means we already have there's a set relationship here. There's a boundary here. Now, if I have you as, when I say you're my best friend, because I don't have no best friends. I ain't finna tell you. All that best friend shit, I ain't got no goddamn best friends. Because a lot of these best friends, right, are only sticking to you long enough to see what they can take from you. I've noticed that too over the last decade. Best friends ain't really best friends. Not saying that there are, like, people talk about the Oprah and Gail shit. Maybe. But do I believe that Oprah and Gail cover each other? Yes. Yes. But do I think like the best friends that we see on TV, like the Mean Girls shit? Mean Girls was such a deep movie because that is a prime example of what friendships and destiny swaps look like. A lot of those friendships aren't rooted in anything because your inner child is still choosing friends, right? From when you were 16, 17, 18, when you were still scarred, when you were still trying to figure out what love is, what real friendships are. A lot of y'all out there have formed friendships based off who you were. And this didn't come from me. This came from a sister by the name of Izzy Living, right? You're still choosing those friends. And that's why I'm very careful about, like, when you're down, like with me, like I show it. When I'm down, I'm down. Y'all know I ain't up, but y'all know it. But I ain't no reason to. But when I am up, I'm still doing the same, kind of the same shit I was doing. Not too much. You might see me go out a little more here, there, whatever. But y'all know where the hell I'm at and why. So you can look, what you doing? Sometimes people just want to know what you're doing because they ain't got shit going on and they don't know how to make plans to get shit going on. That's not a friend. That's somebody that want to see you stuck just because they stuck. Exactly. The more self-love you have for yourself, the less friends you keep. Now, don't get me wrong. You are going to have good friends. Like, your man could be your best friend, and your woman could be your best friend, as long as they're, again, right, contributing, right? There's a reciprocal relationship. So I'm not saying you can't have them, but you have to be very selective. Just like you're dating, just like how you are very selective in your dating life, you have to be that same way in your friendships. You have got to be selective. It didn't take place with your parents, right? Because they brought you here, right? So those lessons that you really should have learned, right, from your parents, you didn't learn them because they were doing them to you. He said, in that order, just like that. Think about it. When you get around people that gaslight the entire fuck out of you and you don't say nothing sometimes, where did you actually learn to do that shit? From your parents, because your parents weren't telling you the whole truth about something. When they were fucking you over, or when they were trying to emotionally manipulate you. You learned it at home, a lot of us. Or, oh, that was the first one. Or like sometimes when, and a lot of 90s babies, we experienced this. Sometimes your first ghoster was your parent. Mom and daddy don't like, I think we've all had them moments. Not all of us, I'm not even gonna say that. But a large portion of us know what it felt like to be waiting for your mama or your daddy on your grandmama front porch, or your granddaddy front porch, or your mama front porch, whatever. You was sitting on the porch waiting for your mama and daddy to come pick you up. And you sitting up there with your backpack and your little overnight bag, you know, your little gaming system or whatever, your school books or whatever, because you just knew that you was going to have a good time with your parent, right? Probably one that you didn't see a lot. And what happened? You was still sitting there on that fucking porch waiting for them. From the time they said they were coming to get you until what? It was dark outside and the fucking street lights came on. And then whoever was responsible for you at that time, whether it be your grandpa, your grandparents, your grandmama, or your mom, or your dad, take however it resonates, had to come out and come get you. And they were disappointed as well. But they didn't know how to get you out of that. Because that's a hard space to put you in, right? But that person that ghosted you, right? What happened? They call you the next day, or 2 days later, or a week later with some bullshit excuse. Oh, see, what had happened was, you know, I wasn't feeling good, or I was still at work and I couldn't come and get you. But you never sought to communicate with me that day. And because eventually they showed up and tried to make up for it. What happened? You forgave that shit. So now as you go as an adult, right? We've all been ghosted by somebody a week, 2 weeks, a month, or whatever. And then they just kind of mysteriously come back in like everything is no. No, because the shit was fucked up then and it's fucked up now. So a lot of us, right, have not placed the dynamic. A lot of that shit came from people in our lives, right, for reasons that you may or may not know about, impacted you, right? Thinking of a lie to tell you. And then it happens when you get involved. It's like with the twin flame situation. Your twin flame ghosting you. Man, fuck them. My twin flame ghosted me too. And guess what? Because we understood what that felt like, you want to be, and that's okay. You want to be in the spirit of forgiveness and blah, 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 and all this and that. And that's great. You can forgive the person for their actions, but you do not have to forgive or participate in the pattern. Once you come to that realization of, oh, wait, this is not normal, and I don't deserve this, and you cut that shit off, watch what happens. It's the same thing with your parents. When they don't get their way, what happens? They ghost. You got in trouble as a kid, right? You didn't do something they wanted you to do. What happened? They stopped talking to you. Exactly. And, you know, as a lot of us, you know, that is the worst thing that you can do is just straight up ignore us. Because sometimes the reason why they ignored you, the punishment didn't fit the crime. You just didn't give them their way, so they ignored you. You no longer existed. And so now you're working overtime to get back into their favor, right? And they still... And so a lot of us end up in relationships like that. Or have been in relationships, right, where that person becomes emotionally manipulative, narcissistic, especially if you grow up with a narc. I did. That pattern of behavior, whether they go extreme, they go on wide in their behavior, or they just outright don't want to talk to you anymore. We've all been through it. And you think it is something that you're doing because they told you that you were the problem. No, they're the problem. You're just not realizing, right? And some people, you know, they won't notice until much later when you've distanced yourself. That it was never about you. But they make it about you, right? They say that you're the problem. You're the reason why I can't do. You're the da-da-da-da. No. You're the problem. You're the problem for putting all your shit on me. And I do not have to accept it. Nah, girl, don't thank me. Thank Spirit. And that's why, like, these days, when you starting to see them, like if you've been running across all of those TikTok videos and everything else where they saying, fuck them. Like that girl that went viral. We die at the end of this. Fuck them. It's because your peace of mind, that's what they mean when they say fuck them, right? Your peace of mind will always should take precedent. Your mental health, your spiritual energy, everything that you need for you so that you can keep moving forward. That's what they mean when they say fuck them. You got to be intact with you. Your mental health, your physical, as long as you're not like hurting nobody. Now, don't get me wrong, because you can't be the person that's engineering a bunch of fuck shit too and then still think that this applies to you. It doesn't. But for those of you that are trying your damnedest every day, you struggling to get the fuck out of the bed in the morning and they don't even know it. And some of them, they know and don't give a shit. That's what I'm talking about. The fuck them. And then when you doing good, they want to come lean all over you, get in your pockets, That woe is me energy that they like to bring. Sometimes it ain't about the money, it's the woe is me energy. Because I can't do what you're doing, or I can't do it like you. But they don't want to learn, or they want to learn. And see, that's something else you got to watch out for. The people that want to learn from you, right? So they can swap destinies with you. They want to know how you're able to do what it is that you could do so they can take your place doing it. There are some people out there that will do that shit. Or some people, they want to learn, right? But then they have an issue why it's not going for them the way that it's going for you. So they start putting spokes in your wheel. They can't do it like you because it wasn't really meant for them to do. Or if it wasn't meant for them to do it on a grand scale because they're supposed to go off and do something else. But then you got a lot of people out here, right, that will have envy for you for the things that you taught them, right, so that they can exist on their own. It's that same thing of that teach a man to fish mentality. Okay, well, I taught you how to fish, nigga. I didn't tell you, like, why you mad because I'm frying mine? Nigga, learn how to fry. I taught you how to fish. Why are you mad because I had presents to my, because I wanted some vegetables with mine. Okay, my shit is Caribbean style. I got some onions and some bell peppers with my shit. You're mad at that? Because I put some onions and bell peppers and some parsley and some star anise and some cardamom on my shit. And you sit over here grilling yours? That's what you wanted. Okay, so what? You like grilled fish. You don't like your shit fried. Why is this a problem? Why is there a jealousy here? And why are you trying to put not necessarily poke holes in my net? Why are you trying to take my net? Because I did something different from you and I taught you how to do it. What the fuck is wrong with you? That's still envious. But you have some people out here that some people will never be satisfied. But that's an insecurity within them that has nothing to do with you. So when people start showing you their ugly face, when you start doing something for you, fuck them. And then also be leery of the ones, right, that watch, that sit back and watch when something bad in your life happens unexpectedly. They were there, but they ain't never said nothing. They know the context of what the fuck going on, but they wouldn't speak up for you. But then you minding your own business and they come back. It's because they're trying to see if you still in the same hole they left you in. And some people might feel bad and they want to fuck them too. Because if the people sat there willing to watch your execution in a way, because some people they will sit there and watch your execution knowing you ain't did shit wrong, and leave you there, and then come back when they see that you're healing. Like, hey, how you been, friend? How you? Cut that shit off too. Because they don't mean you no good either. They just trying to figure out how the fuck you got out that hole. Or sometimes they want to see what it is that you know. Or what you tapping into. Fuck them too. Be exclusive. Gatekeep your personality sometimes. That's something I'm learning to do. You ain't got to ask every question that's being asked of you. Why? Why? Who cares? Now, if you got some real things that we can talk about, right? Like be careful of people that come up to you want to make money with you. And I've said that before. Like the people that want to make money with you. If you're doing most of the legwork, nah, nah, nah. And be wary of those that want you to work for free. That's why when I come on here, y'all, and I'm gonna just keep it real. When I come on here, when I give y'all a message free from the collective, that's because Spirit is asking me to do that. But you will have to pay for your own personal divinations. That is a boundary that I am not going to cross. I'm not giving nothing up for free. That takes a lot of energy, right? So first of all, deliver the message that Spirit is saying to deliver to you, but then to give you your own message, if I'm not being called to, I'm not doing it. Same thing with my healings. I don't heal nobody for free. You know how much shit, do you know how much shit that comes with people? Sometimes it's ancestral. You think I'm gonna clean all that off of you for free? No. Because as a healer, and you know what that's like, shit will stick to you as a healer sometimes. And you are paying a big price every time you go in there and you do work. That's why you don't take every job that come your way either. I don't give a fuck what they say. No, they have to pay you. And this is where your discernment comes in, and your boundaries and your ability to say no. Sometimes the shit is not worth it. And that's why people when they gaslight you, you should do this for free. You should want to do that. You should. No, the fuck you should not. Because you don't know what risk you're taking. Just being honest. There are some that will agree, some that will not, but that's okay. And I'm willing to be wrong on a lot of this stuff. Like, this is open discussion. This is open panel. Ain't nothing that I'm saying, right, supposed to be law. This is just based off observations and my own experiences, right? So I may not have the answer to everything. That's why I left the topic open today for discussion. But sometimes, right, the very people that are saying that they support you or go up for your support are the same people that is stabbing you in your back. They the same ones that got that pin in your root chakra and they know exactly when to hit it. You think I'm lying? Even the ones that you swear up and down would never do that to you, they always know where to stick you one time. And some people do it just because they enjoy the control. Sometimes, like, exactly, hugging you with a knife, polar bear. Exactly. It's like that episode of Boondocks, if y'all have ever seen it. Like the revenge of like the Stink Meaner crew, if y'all have ever seen it. Where they was like, just because he was our nigga don't mean we gave a shit about his ass. Sometimes we just like to fuck shit up. Like, if we wasn't fucking with you, if we wasn't hating on you, we would have found somebody else to hate on. But that is a large portion of this. And a lot of them come from older folks. A lot of them come from that Gen X crowd. A lot of them gave birth to you. A lot of them raised you. And so, and whoever this is hidden for, right? Sometimes you have to free yourself and recognizing that just because you was their nigga don't mean they gave a shit about you. And that is a hard pill to swallow. Not for real. And don't get me wrong, once you start recognizing this, the people that actually do want to help elevate you and you help elevate them, right? The people that actually value you, the people that actually just want to show you love and don't want shit from you. They don't care about none of that shit. They'll be there. They will be there to support you. You know what I'm saying? Like them friends that pay full price for your shit, they don't want a discount. You got a business or whatever, they paying full price. They telling people about your shit. Right? Sometimes you got to watch out. There are people that'll do that and still don't give a shit about you. Right? When you really going through something, They show up and they're consistent when they show up. They check on you. They not trading sob stories with you. They're just there. And they going about their business. Because there's still a boundary there. Right? Exactly. Especially when you don't look like what you've been through. That's when everybody come back and be like, huh, how the fuck? They must be doing good now. Let me see if I can, real quick, fuck them. And you always know the ones that come back. Because when it was radio silent, when you was going through the shit, when some of them was looking at you dead ass in your eyes, knowing that you was going through it and they possibly contributed to it, that's when you know. Because you will have some people that will dead ass look you in your face while you crying and you telling them about the problem, knowing full well the reason why you going through what you going through is because they was doing like this. Tapping you on your back with that knife. They know it. They know you don't know it. So because you have people that will hide out in the corner pockets of your shit. Be like, oh, I'm so sorry you going through that. I just want to support you. I just want to. And like they tell you, even the devil showed up, right? Even the devil was handsome. You know what I'm saying? Even the devil was fucking handsome. But they will, sometimes you will have people make you think, right, that because you choose to do something alternative, right? Hold on. Why is this? Hold on, spirit. Now, don't play with me about my. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Sometimes you have people thinking that because you're choosing something alternative, right? Or something that's foreign to them. Sometimes that's the shit that you have to lean into because people will make you feel as if because you're doing something unorthodox, right? That ain't the right way to do it. They want you to do it their way, right? They're matching success by what they've seen other people do and they want you to follow that route. But your route to success is going to be unique to you. And because sometimes that unique route leads to your success, they'll do anything they can to talk you out of it. And you got some people, hey, sometimes they karmic debt is clean in a motherfucker and they came through life coasting. They got an issue with that. I'm going to give y'all another example of how sometimes you can program a motherfucker to hate you and you don't even know why. Y'all see like the Cybertruck TikToks? That really threw me for a loop a couple of weeks ago when I got on and asked. And I said, why are they making y'all? I didn't even know what the fuck a Cybertruck was. I don't even really be in a loop on cars and stuff like that. I didn't know what a Cybertruck was. But I'm like, why are they pissing everybody off? Because it was a TikTok sound saying like, you see one and it just piss you off. Like, why they look like that? Huh? And I'm seeing the TikToks of people saying, damn, yeah, even my 3-year-old hates them. But you programmed to hate something you don't even know shit about. You're programmed to hate something just because it looks, right, weird, or because it's vastly expensive, or because it takes up space. What is the problem here? Right? And so a lot of people will do that shit to you because you take up space. They don't like you. You could be doing absolutely nothing. You could be sitting up there with your hands folded, reading. You could be reading a pamphlet, right? On how to get from the A line to B line bus. And somebody will not like you. Look at that smart reading ass nigga. Some people don't like it when you take up space. What does taking up space look like? Okay, for example, y'all a friend group, right? But it's always that one friend. They may not even be the one that everybody know, right? That might not even be the most popular person of the friend group, right? Sometimes they're the fucking bubbles of the group, right? And they ain't no diss on bubbles because I love the Powerpuff Girls, and y'all know I reference them quite a bit. Sometimes they the bubbles of the group. They just there. They just happy to be there. They just happy to be, a part of something bigger than themselves. And then what happens? Why are you here? Or you have the other two people in the group starting to create doubts around you. Like look how they did Bubbles. You're the weakest of us, Bubbles. You're the most sensitive. All you do is cry. You do da 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 da. But wait a minute. Bubbles was whooping ass right along with y'all. Okay, so she cried when she whooped ass. What does it have to do with anything? We know what was it? Buttercup was the toughest. Blossom was like the logical, pretty, most feminine one, right? Everybody had their own attributes, but when it came to Bubbles, they used to punk Bubbles because she was the sensitive one. Because she cried, because she rocked the pigtails, right? Because she loved stuffed animals, because she loved things that emotionally appeal to her. They said that made her weak. And then what happened? It was one episode, she was whooping everything in sight. She was tearing hoes up. Oh my God. And then what happened? Oh my God, Bubbles, oh, we respect you now because you're hardcore, right? But she always was. But because y'all wanted to see something different in her, and y'all they wanted so bad, right, for Bubbles not to be sensitive, that she completely turned that off and she became a monster. Bubbles became a monster in her own right. Now you're scared of her. So what did you have to do? And now we got to, okay, let's quell this back. Because clearly we know now Bubbles is insane. We know that she will fuck our world up. So now we have to bring her back down to reality of, we're not going to call her weak no more, because she's just proven herself, right? That not only is she formidable, but she might be more formidable than us. And sometimes people knew that in the space and when they were calling you weak. Sometimes people know that. You don't know it. And so they make you believe that you're weak until you have the moments, right, when they push you too far and you start showing motherfuckers better than you can tell them. Now they want to be your friend again. Now they want to hitch themselves to your wagon because now I know that you can go and you can go the distance. See, we've already played our peak for some of them. Some of them, they're resting on pretty, right? For a lot of them. We just going to rest here. But when you excelled us, oh shit. But we already knew you could. You have to be very, very careful of people like that. And at the same time, with us, sometimes we've all had those moments. We've all had those moments where we were like, damn, if I'd have just, and we have to check ourselves with that too. We also have to be like, why do I feel some type of way about this? Why do I really feel a type of way about this? And the truth is, you have to tell yourself, oh, it's because this person may be showing up into the room as their authentic self. I'm not used to doing that. And so, hi, Brooke. And so maybe that's the issue that I'm having with this person. So it's not them, it's me. When you can do that, when you can be real with yourself and say, you know what, the real reason why I have an issue with this is because of me, and I need to work through that. And I know this has nothing to do with them. That's how you free yourself. And you stop hanging around other people, and then you start picking up on those patterns. Like, oh shit, you know what? Okay, now I remember when I had to check myself about this. That's what's going on with them. Okay, yeah. You one or two things. You can either address it, or two, sometimes you recognize how long that shit's been going on, and you choose to walk away. Do what it is that you need to do to preserve your sanity in situations like that. And don't let nobody make you feel any type of way about it. Exactly. Sometimes you got to run, don't walk. Sometimes you can't think about all the years that you've invested with that person. Sometimes you can't, because sometimes, right? Or the level of friendship, or like, oh, they weren't that bad. They weren't really that bad. No, they were. Right? But sometimes people have a way of doing things to you that makes them feel, right, or make you feel like, damn, I'm overreacting. It's really not that deep, but it really is. And that's why I tell people, like, feeling like you have to be 100% healed necessarily to achieve anything, that doesn't make any sense, because every day you're going through a new lesson. Every day you're going through something else that you're going to have to heal from. Right? And so sometimes those friendships, or those familial relationships that you thought, actually, like, damn, I'm overreacting. No, like, pay attention to the thoughts that you have in the first time. Because your intuition and your spirit is already telling you, you need to pay attention. Pay attention to this. And stop engaging. Sometimes that argument that they're creating has nothing to do with you. It's to take your energy. You're like, oh, okay. And you'll feel less inclined to defend something or defend yourself. See, a motherfucker that really don't like you, they will always work hard to make you defend your position about who you are. A person that has an issue with you, or an envy with you, and it doesn't matter who they are to you, when they have a real issue with you, they will work overtime to make you feel a certain way, because that's them stripping you of your power. And sometimes it's to knock you off your purpose. If you know you're moving in direct alignment, and then people start popping up and ask you questions that don't make any sense, or, oh, hey, I saw you somewhere, don't answer them. That's how you know you're moving into alignment with what you're supposed to be doing. And sometimes you may not even have the whole plan yet, right? But when shit start getting shaky, that's what spirits say. Sometimes that's when you know you're going through a breakthrough. When shit start cracking and people start revealing themselves, pay attention. The more you love yourself, right? Don't get me wrong. It's some people that they're gonna follow suit. The ones that you're meant to heal, touch, and agree, they gonna rise up with you. Okay? But the ones that feel a certain type of way, they receive shit, because they know they the hit dog, run. We've all been there. We've all had friends. Think about it. We've all had friends where we have sat and watched them manipulate the entire fuck out of somebody. And for whatever reason, whether it's because it didn't have nothing to do with us, or because we didn't like that person either, we sat there and we watched the shit. It was usually harmless, right? Till it was your turn. We've all been there. It was harmless till it was your turn. Because that person showed you right then exactly the type of person that they were. And 9 times out of 10, it was something that happened consistently. Because when I was in college, I had a friend like that. And I called her out on it. I said, every time you move in with somebody, you got an issue. Like, every single time because you want to control something so bad. Every time you get a roommate, it's some bullshit. But it's from you. Because you want to control something. And sure enough, years later, when we moved in together, the same shit started happening. And this time, who was the target? Really, everybody in the house was the target. But the shit, it came to me. And the difference was, because I had already picked up on the pattern, we not even gonna play this game. Bye. We did not talk for almost a year. I did not talk to her. With no problem, with no remorse. I did not talk to her for almost a year with zero remorse. And when she came back into my life, it was the same shit. And sometimes when people do these things, right, we end up finding ourselves in worse situations. We find ourselves in relationships that are just as bad because we still haven't mastered the pattern, right? And we haven't mastered it with other people. And so because a lot of us don't have boundaries sometimes, right? And I'm speaking for myself, we end up in worse situations. And now you just got a bunch of motherfuckers that want a piece of you, grabbing at whatever they can. And sometimes because they can see the person that want a piece of you more than, than they want, or they don't get a bigger piece, they will drive a wedge in between that. And sometimes it's for the right reasons, but most times it's for the wrong fucking reasons. Y'all gotta think about that one. Because sometimes your parents will also play a role like that. Sometimes your parents will get in the middle of some shit because they know the person that you with ain't shit either. And so they start to scream and cry. But now because you've picked up on their bullshit patterns, you don't know what to believe. So now you stuck in a situation that's going to lead you down into further turmoil. Meanwhile, this person's still fucking you over. But because they're not fucking you over like this person, right, ain't fucking you over. Because the leeching is a process, and everybody has a different way of doing it. But because they weren't doing it the way that you've identified with, right, you still end up in a worse situation. So you have to be careful. You have to, with everybody, have your boundaries up. Learn the art of no sometimes, or the art of what is your motive. What do you really want from me? Because people with motive, they'll just use you till they can't. And they'll move on. Some people call it survival. Some people call you already. Some people call it, you know what this is. And it's draining, especially if you are a healer. It happens all the fucking time. Especially if you're a healer. You may not even know you're a healer, but if you have healing qualities to you, it happens to you more often than not. And the only way that you can get through those scars is to do two things. Keep it real with yourself. One, how did I allow this to continue to happen? Right? Did I have a hero complex? And I learned this from somebody else when he said it. And it lit a thing in me. And I was like, oh shit. He might have been right about that. Did I feel pressure to show up for these people on the strength of they were friends or they were family? Or did I feel a pressure to show up for these people? Right? Most of which weren't even showing up for themselves. That's what you have to pay attention to. Ho, you're not even showing up for yourself. And I have to show up for you, or you're not showing up for yourself in the 143. You're not showing up for yourself the way that you should. And so you're relying on me to bear this weight. I'm not doing that shit for you. Cause see, when I was going through the process, when I was over there fucking getting it, right, you weren't down here helping me. And that's why I say, like, that shit where when you start doing good, you have people willing to kill you over some stuff. First off, a lot of people don't know the sleepless nights, right? That you hear people saying. Sometimes you struggle so hard, people don't know you may have had days where you slept in your fucking car. Or on the sidewalk, on the park bench. They don't know none of that shit. All they see is what you got now. And all they care about is what they can get from you now. But when you was hungry and you needed a bite, where was they at? Well, you needed a place to sleep or wash your ass. Where was they at? Even now, you got plans that you trying to work on, and they ain't nowhere to be found, are they? Pay attention to that. And the more and more you start pouring love into you, you know what happens? They start showing up every now and then, small gestures. Oh, hey, friend, you want to go out to eat? Oh, hey, friend, you want... Pay attention to that. Also, I'm going to say this, especially for those that like to play that best friend game. Bitch, if I've known you for 3 months and we just hanging out consistently, don't label me as your best friend. Because the minute you do that, right, you're already telling me that you ain't no friend to me. We known each other 3 months and we kick it consistently, but I'm your best friend. Didn't you just have a best friend? Where's that best friend? What's going on that person's not your best friend no more? And when did I get this title that we never talked about? That is somebody that's already expecting you to show up for them in a way that they won't show up for you. Ever. Think about it. And don't get me wrong, there are some real best friends out here. And they don't have to sacrifice, right? They're not here to sacrifice anything, right? They're just here to help you level up. Like, yo, you got a mission, I got a mission too. Let's go ahead and get this. But they will never take from you. They're not trying to set you up for ruin. They're not here trying to figure out why you doing better than them. I'm gonna give you a prime example of what a real best friend is. Kelly Rowland is a real best friend. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to. Y'all can say whatever she preached about, whatever. But Kelly Rowland is a real best friend. Even when she's not getting the same reciprocation. She is a real best friend. She is happy for her best friend's success, or her sister basically, Beyonce's success. She show up and support her whenever she can. I'm sure they talk or whatever, and they both have their own individual lives. But when they come together, ain't nobody talking about who's number one and who's number two. They're not even talking about work 9 times out of 10. Listen, my bitch, let's go around the corner. Let's go get this meal. Let's go do this. Let's go have fun. Let's go reminisce about our lives and where we are right now, right? And how we can, you know what I'm saying, just be grateful to God that this is happening for us, right? They're not interested in who is number one and who's number two. And every time people get in Kelly face with that, how does it feel to be the second known? She be like, what? And I like how she clarifies, yes, my sister is a bright light. Beyonce is a beautiful, bright light, but so am I. And light will always attract light. The people that really are there to support you, the people that always want to be there for you, right? They don't want anything from you. They will be there, period. That is a real best friend. I got my own coin. I got my own success. They have their own coin, their own success. We meet in the middle. And, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I respect that this person has their own individual things that they go through, just like I do. And I ain't comparing apples and oranges. And you might know some things, but it's not to take somebody else down. Kelly ain't watching Beyonce pockets, and Beyonce ain't watching Kelly pockets. They on some where are kids going to school at? Well, did you think about this school district? Well, you know, girl, I live out here. So what? Those are the things that they probably talking about. That's a real best friend. Latoya Luckett is a real best friend. Say what y'all want. She's a real best friend. She has that real bestie energy. She wants you to, be where you at, and however you got there, that's, hey, congratulations. I'm happy for you. You don't see Latoya Luckett running around trying to like sabotage nobody. It's a matter of fact, I don't know why that came up, but there's a movie that I was watching the other day called Line Sisters. It was a Lifetime movie, and it was actually pretty well written for a Lifetime movie, right? And y'all need to watch that. I think it's on YouTube, but if you got Lifetime, go ahead and watch Lifetime and watch Line Sisters. And that's literally about these women, right, that were part of a sorority, and one of the girls ended up dying. So over the course of 15 years, right, you see all of their personalities, how they all grown and evolved while they're being stalked, right, by the memory of what happened to one of their line sisters. And you watch the blame game each other plays on one, not the other. How they still stick together, right, through all of that. And it was a very interesting movie, but y'all need to watch that, because it sometimes shows like how one person's ambition can lead to a lot of blocks falling, and that shit will follow you for as long as it needs to, until y'all address the shit, until y'all heal from it. That was a really good movie. Oh, 144. I'm in 144 minutes. 144.04. But I'm not here to just, again, I'm not just talking out of turn. I'm not just blowing hot air. This is something I really want everybody to be cognizant over, because it is going to continue to happen. The way this energy is coming in, the way it's shifting, especially for the cardinal signs. Shout out to the cardinal signs, right? You're starting to feel a release in your root chakra. Be very wary of those people that want to come in to see what you got going on just so they can take it from you. Be very wary of the people that are sticking stuff in your back, right? Be very careful, even the people that said that they love you, right? That are pushing you, right, to mountains, are pushing you to be the best version of yourself, but it ain't for you. Be very careful of people that continue to push you but ask you for stuff as you keep climbing. Because 9 times out of 10, what they asking you for is something that's going to derail you. And you know it. You know it. Because that requires a sacrifice that only you can give at the time. And they don't give a fuck. They will be right back around for you to do it again. So that's why when I said, when you cut people off, cut them off. Fuck them. Because they're only going to go back. They're only going to maintain a certain level of altitude with you, a certain level of how you want your personal space and how you moving and grooving, just so they can get what they need out of you. This ain't everybody, but it happens. And for some of you, it's going to take you freeing yourself, right, from the reality. For some of y'all, I don't think y'all realize there's a such thing as financial PTSD too. A lot of that shit didn't come from you. It came from other people's expectations of you. And so for some of you, there's a fear of success because you already know, with like what P. Diddy say, more money, more problems, except his problems were created. For some of you out there, the reason why you know that you are scared to go to the next level is because you know as soon as you get up there, there's a motherfucker ready to jump on your back. But you cannot allow, and that's how they win too. You cannot allow that, right, to derail you from your mission, your purpose. Because they can only jump on your back if you let them. How do you do that? You start letting motherfuckers know, hey, straight up, I ain't got nothing for you, right? Ain't no jobs this way. I'm not hiring family. I'm not hiring friends, right? For select few of you out there, don't be making plans with my motion. with my movements. Right. And I give you an example of that. Like, you working hard and, oh, I can't wait to go shopping on your dime and blah, 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 blah. Well, wait a minute. I'm waiting to go shopping on your dime. Hold the fuck up. So you want to live good off me, but I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for a birthday present. I'm still waiting on you to pay for lunch. That type of stuff. Or you getting ready to, you want to build your dream house. No, you don't want to build. You want to go buy it. People will talk you out of your plans. Why you want to build a house? Get something that's already made. No, I want my shit built because I have certain things that I want that I know that it's not going to come equipped in that house. And it's going to cost me more in the long run to install those things. I don't care. I don't give a damn if it's a rain shower. Most houses don't have a rain shower and they don't have the kind I want. So why spend another $50,000 to remodel a bathroom? Right? When I could have took, the same amount, half the money that I would have put in this $2.5 million house for select, you have to dream big, right? Built my own shit. And, like, if you're smart, and I own the land that this shit was built on, and an acre behind it, or 2 acres or whatever, how you want to do that. Because there's something else that I'm planning. I have plans for all of this. So no, it's not as simple as doing. That's what you would have done, and congratulations. So how about you do that? But how I'm running my machine, that's on me. I'm not saying don't take friendly advice, but take that shit from people who are on that same journey with you, right? To a certain degree, right? If you don't have the education to be telling me how to do shit, don't be making suggestions. Don't. Because that's you trying to live vicariously through me. It's just like that, what was that? What was her name? That Stormy Wellington lady? I know she had some controversy about a year or so ago because she told that girl, like, why's your plate full or something like that? Like, you eating like a hood rat, but a queen eat like this? That shit pissed me off so bad because I said, first of all, not only are you talking her out of her abundance, but when somebody chooses less, I said what that was that woman, she was hosting that party. See, if you let her talk, she'll tell you. She was hosting that party and she felt some type of way about this woman getting a plate full of food that she didn't even pick out. It was given to her. She said, they gave me all of this. But because you felt some type of way about that, now she a hood rat. Because you're eating less, right? You a queen. I said, well, really, a true queen will let a motherfucker eat, you know what I'm saying, to their fill. You eating to your fill and they are eating, right, for their sustenance. Everybody is good. That's what a real queen does. I am satisfied in knowing that not only am I filling up my own plate, but someone else who, for all you know, could have needed that, is eating to their fill, right? They're also appreciative of it, and they reciprocate that energy back into whatever we got going on. That is the mark of a true queen. But to make her feel bad because she had a full plate that was given to her, that's envy. That's you feeling some type of way that somebody came to an event that you felt like you were supposed to be the star of, and because somebody had more than you because you chose less, you wanted to talk them out of it. It's the fox and the crow scenario all over again sometimes. Sometimes the crows, right? Sometimes you are the crow. And the fox that's going to talk you out of that little treat in your mouth will be the very people that say they love you. If y'all don't know the story of the fox and the crow, it's the same scenario. That fox was hungry. He was tired of hunting. And he saw a crow with like a piece of cake or something in her mouth. He started sweet talking her. Like, oh, I bet you can sing. I bet you could do that. You're so wonderful. I bet you could do it. And as soon as she said, ah, He ate that cake and took the fuck off. A lot of people in your life are like that. They'll big you up. They'll big the fuck out of you up. Oh yeah, you're the best. You're the amazing. You're this, and I know you're gonna be somebody someday, and you're gonna da 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 da. And the whole time you like, wow, thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't think about myself. Sometimes you really be like, I didn't think about myself like that, but thank you. I really appreciate it. While you're going, wow, thank you, and all the accomplishments and stuff that you're doing, and you're doing this, they right there eating that cake every time something drop out your mouth. That is parasitic behavior. It is vampiric behavior. And sometimes the people that, and I have to harp on this, sometimes the people that will do it to you the worst be your own people. Or sometimes they'll set you up for something and derail you. Not because they know you're going to do it, right? But because they want to hitch themselves to your wagon, they'll fuck you over every time because they know you'll do it. Hey, Victoria. Hell, it could be something as simple as a vacation. Right? Like, this ain't even your idea. Hey, how about we go do this, that, and the third? Da, 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 da. Okay, cool. Okay. Where we trying to go? Bitch, let's go to the Maldives. Let's do that. Oh, shit, okay. Y'all both working. You done started working more hours and putting your money to the side and all this other, whatever it is that you felt like you needed to do. Right? You like, okay, well, the tickets was so and so and such and such. I'm like, what, 2 paychecks away from getting mine. Where yours at? And they shut up. It's because they knew you were gonna do it. They was just talking shit. They wanted to derail you. Sometimes the people, they want you to go on these trips and lavish, and them niggas ain't even got a passport. But it was to derail you off of something else that you could have been doing. And sometimes they'll do it and know you won't go by yourself. So they put another spoke in your wheel. So you have to be very careful about the people who want to match up with you. And that's why I keep telling y'all, and I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but somebody needs to hear this, okay? Sometimes when you collaborate with other motherfuckers, that has nothing to do with you. That has everything to do with them. You might be doing a lot of the work. So pay attention to that. When you doing the majority of the work, that ain't for you. That's for them. Now you tired, you wore out, you this, that, and the third. They got what they needed from you. You gonna keep giving it back to them? You keep showing up for them? Of course, they're gonna take it. And that's why I remember seeing this meme where it was 2 people. One had a loaf of bread, a big loaf of bread behind his back, and he had another half in his hand. And the friend that was sitting next to him was like emaciated. You could tell that person was tired. You could tell that person was hungry, but they still gave half their bread to this person that had a full loaf behind their back. And the meme was, pay attention to people who do things like this. Because there's a lot of people in your life with full fucking loaves, and they will still take your half knowing that you're hungry, that you are starving, that you are depleted. There are people in your life that will continue to take from you knowing you have nothing and don't give a shit. They will keep pumping you for that other half of your bread. And it's a fucking nightmare. The sad part is a lot of times you don't know. Like in Keke Palmer's case, when I was talking about it, that shit started when she was 12 years old. For her to be 18, 6 years of working. So that means all the shit that we was watching with Keke Palmer, the Akilah and the Bee movies, right? Everything that she had coming up from the time that she was 12 until she was 18, it wasn't there. That's because she had people in her pockets that she didn't know about. Or she did have them in their pockets, right? And she didn't realize how deep. Both, like she said, both parents quit their jobs to support her career. No. They quit both of your jobs. They both quit their jobs right? To make sure that you were still working for them. You were working for them. And sometimes your parents will make you feel that way. Sometimes your best friends will make you feel that way. And that's why a lot of us are walking around messed up and don't know who to trust, because you got contracts with people that they've written for you and you didn't even know about it. Or every time you come up, you already in a deficit. Because you're telling yourself, I got to provide for so and so and such and such. I have to show up this way and that way and that way because I need to make sure they're eating first. No, you are literally pouring into your cup. Your cup is getting poured into and it's holes in your shit that they're not going to patch up. Because why? You have to patch them holes up yourself. And I'm not saying it's wrong to give, but make sure that your cup is good and full. Make sure your shit, make sure you eating first, right? Make sure any of the maintenance that you need to take care of yourself is taken care of. Make sure your house and your note and car notes and shit are paid for. Make sure your nails is done first. Make sure you're eating first. Make sure you got full groceries and shit. Make sure your drawers are clean before you do for anybody else. Make sure your energy is right. And if for some of y'all, don't make it a habit. Oh, I need so and so for this, that, and the third. That sounds like a personal fucking problem. That is a personal fucking problem and it has nothing to do with me. But watch how they attack your root chakra. That's what I'm telling you. Watch. Oh my God, I need that. You got time to talk? And you got, everything is catastrophized when people want something from you. Or when you don't give a fuck no more. Watch. They always got something fucked up to drop on you to get their way. Every time. Watch. Watch when you stop giving a shit. Then they start telling you shit that it has nothing to do with you. They start putting feelings on you. It's them. They start telling you exactly what they think of you without you even realizing it. And so you owe them nothing. Now, this ain't for everybody. I want y'all to understand. What I just said, what I just dropped down is not for everybody, but it's going to touch a few people. Okay? Because I'm not saying some of y'all don't have good parents, good grandparents, good relatives, good friends out there. Right? But there's a reciprocation that's taking place. You know the difference. But we have grown, especially this last decade, we have grown up, right, with this expectation that we have to be the heroes, that we break the mold. And for some of us, we have to, especially with the generational healing. And that shit ain't fun. But you grow up with this expectation, right? Like you're the apple of your mom's eye. The whole world is, not the whole world, but your family is counting on you. We're counting on you. Yeah, they count on you because they don't want to do the shit they goddamn self. That's why they counting on you. Or some of them, they can't. Or they feel like they can't. There's no such thing as not being able to come out of a situation. I'm learning that myself. There is no such thing. But when you get around in people that start telling you how to get out of your shit, they're knocking you off your purpose. Most times. Ain't none of it easy, because anything worth having is not easy. And that's why they don't stick around for the work part. It's that little red hen scenario. They not sticking around for the work or the grasshopper and the ant. They not sticking around for that shit. They don't want to participate. They don't have a kind word to give you when you're struggling, when you're crying. They busy. You'd be surprised how many people are thriving off of your energy. Not even for anything that you've done, like specifically, but you will be very surprised how many people will go off your energy, because all they know is if they had a bad day, all they got to do is call you. You're gonna big them up, and they're gonna spend 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months running off your shit. But that's why it's important to call your power back to you too. And when you start calling your power back, because there was a lady on TikTok, she proved it. She said, when you throw that spell out there, I take my power back from those who have been stealing it without my consent. She was like, them motherfuckers will run. Like, you will be surprised. And then I've added to it, I take my power back from those who have been stealing it without my consent, and to those I have given consent freely, right? Without realizing that this was a game. But when you start saying that shit, when I tell you that shit happens fast, I've had people, as soon as I said it, text me. Be like, what the pay attention to that, because sometimes it happens that fast. Block. For real. Try this. I challenge y'all. I take my power back from those who have been stealing it without my consent. The minute you say that shit, pay attention to who is emailing you, who is texting you, who is there. Because 9 times out of 10, it's somebody that's trying to take of your energy, or they need something from you, and they are not going to give anything back. They are not reciprocating that energy back. They are not. I'm telling you, every time. Or the ones that you ain't fucking with, they ain't paid attention to shit you had going on for months. All of a sudden, they your biggest cheerleader. Yeah, she said, yes, oh my God, so true, that happened last week. Exactly. Pay attention to that. Because those are the ones that are... Those are the ones that you need to cut off, because their intentions to you are not real. They're not here to give you anything. They're not here to or share with you anything. They're not really there to support you. They just want to take. And people say, well, how is that possible? You know, that's what friends are for. Hold on. For the Christians. Even y'all will say that Jesus didn't have no good friends. Even y'all say that. Even Jesus had 12 homeboys. With, yeah. 11 or 12, however you want to put that, because one of them was in fact a woman, or 2 women. They only talk about the people that he benefited from, right? One but one loyal, 2 loyal, let me say that, because Mary Magdalene, she stuck beside him. And John. Out of all them hangouts, John was the only one that was like, yeah, that's my nigga. Mary Magdalene kept spreading the word after his death. But who was it? Even Peter was like, nah, I don't know him. Nah, that like I don't know him like that. Judas sold him out, literally. It was some motherfuckers real quiet. Because sometimes being loyal or being a friend means you don't gain anything. And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people only want to be your friend because they gained something. They gained something from knowing you. They gained something from, being your best friend, or what, however that they gained something. But when shit is up, they don't know you. So if you see that in religious texts, right? They're telling you that this is the norm. You see it now. DDG and Hallie. And they didn't like her. Not like that. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble now. For the DDG fans out there, he didn't like her like that. He liked that she had more fame than he did. Because the person that he's still chasing is the ex, who don't give 2 fucks. And why she don't give 2 fucks? Because her experience of him said that he was not worth knowing anymore. Despite the fact that he has money, despite the fact that he has clout, despite all of these things, right? The one woman that he's still chasing after made the conscious decision because of her autonomy not to fuck with him. So he found somebody that had more fame, that was a little more green to relationships. He thought he could control that situation. And then he overplayed his hand because he didn't recognize that she had a support system. Now, it might have been a little too late, right? But now look at it. Second time, he's fumbled a good relationship over. Like, I don't know what the situation between him and Rose was, but their relationship that he had with Hallie, he fucked it up because he didn't really like her like that. He just wanted to control her and ride her fame bus. Because what happened? As soon as they came out, they was public, everything he posted was him and Hallie. Then she got pregnant, kept it a secret, but now every time he posted something, it's him and the baby. That's how people will use you sometimes. And how did that drawback work for Hallie? She had a song that was supposed to be Oscar nominated. They retracted because of her wholesome image was taken away. They derailed her music career to a certain degree. Her Disney career is still kind of up in the open. We don't know if she's going to ever do anything for Disney again. Because he did not like her like that. And for some reason, right, he was able to convince her that she didn't have the power in the relationship that she actually had. Now that she's gained it back because she's an Aries and don't give a fuck, now he butthurt. But that's how people will do you. Because he still don't want her. He wants what comes with her. The benefits that come with her. Her clout. Her energy. And because he doesn't have access to her, which means every now and then that limited access that he now has to their child, same thing. So you got to be careful. Yeah. DDG and Hallie. Now, whether they together or not, that's the observation that I saw. That's why all the aunties and the big sisters on the internet was like, Hallie, don't do it. But she didn't listen. And that's fine. Remember, that was probably her first real relationship. And she hoped for the best. Right? But to somebody that only speaks in clout and attention and all that, like DDG does, he didn't give a shit about her. He cared about the one that told him no. He cares about the one that was throwing it on him and he couldn't control. That's why he keeps running back over there to see what Ruby Rose is doing. Because she don't give a fuck. Yeah, and talking about her like that, because he didn't really like her like that. He knew she was a name and he attached himself to it. And he got a couple of things else that he wanted. He wanted a baby. He got that out of her. But he was using her from the beginning. And some people do that, especially with this shift change that we're going through right now. Attention is actually the new clout. The money really don't mean shit no more. It's the attention. He rode high off of that till he couldn't no more. And now you see him crashing out. That's why he talking shit, posting stuff, posting weird videos and everything else. It's because now it's about the attention. It's going to get eyes on it. I'm going to make some revenue off the attention that I'm getting down in somebody that I said that I loved, right? Created a life with. But because I'm not getting my way out of this, I'll knock all this shit over. You have to be careful with people like that. Be damn. You got a whole nother little person, a whole new life you created that you're supposed to be protecting and fortifying from fuck shit, and you're putting them right in the middle of it. Because that's what's going to get you attention. Hey, Glamour Luxury Beauty Bar. But, you know, that's just me. You got to be careful with some people. And I don't like to talk about people like that, but I talk about the fuck shit. Like, if you really want somebody to keep it real with you, in order for us to elevate, this is not to tear anybody down, but it's to really just show, right, where we can stifle ourselves sometimes, or how people will stifle us. My card pulls are. Ooh. And see, my phone just died down on what you call it, on TikTok. So let me just go ahead and take care of that too. I've been talking too much. I've been on here for 172 minutes. So y'all, signing out for now is your favorite rich fine auntie, aka the Empress of Cups. Not dropping tea today. I guess I was dropping gems. Okay. If you would like to book your own personal divination with me, though, you can at hushtarot@gmail.com. And y'all, I will sign out for later because we need to marinate on that. But remember, sometimes they ain't really there for you. All right. I love you.